Imagine a country where over 20,000 homicides happen every single year, where entire regions are controlled not by the government but by violent cartels, and where simply being in the wrong place at the wrong time can cost you everything. That's our number one entry, and the full story behind these terrifying statistics will shock you to your core. Leave before number 1 and you'll miss the most insane entry on this list. Let's count down from number 10. Number 10, Venezuela. This South American nation has a homicide rate of 49.2 per 100,000 people, making it one of the deadliest countries outside of active war zones. Caracas, the capital city, is considered one of the world's most dangerous cities where armed robbery, kidnapping, and carjacking are daily occurrences. The economic collapse has left police forces underfunded and criminals virtually unchecked, with most crimes going completely unsolved. But Venezuela's dangers are nothing compared to what's waiting at number 9. Number 9, South Sudan. Africa's youngest nation has known almost nothing but conflict since its independence in 2011, with over 400,000 people killed in ongoing civil wars. Armed groups roam freely through villages, and humanitarian workers report that violence against civilians is systematic and brutal. Famine, disease, and complete lawlessness have created a humanitarian catastrophe where 2/3 of the population needs emergency aid to survive. The next country proves that danger doesn't always come from war alone. Number 8, Yemen. 6 years of relentless civil war have created what the UN calls the world's worst humanitarian crisis, with over 377,000 deaths and counting. Saudi-led coalition airstrikes and Houthi rebel attacks have destroyed hospitals, schools, and critical infrastructure across the nation. An estimated 80% of the population needs humanitarian assistance, and cholera outbreaks have infected over 1 million people. But our number 7 entry faces a different kind of terror altogether. Number 7, Haiti. This Caribbean nation has essentially become a failed state where gangs control an estimated 80% of the capital Port-au-Prince. Kidnappings have skyrocketed to over 1,200 reported cases in a single year, with victims ranging from school children to foreign missionaries. The assassination of President Jovenel Moïse in 2021 plunged the country into even deeper chaos, and police are so outnumbered they've essentially abandoned entire neighborhoods. Violence in our next entry is even more systematically organized. Number 6, Honduras. With a murder rate of 38.9 per 100,000, this Central American country is plagued by powerful drug trafficking organizations and brutal street gangs. The MS-13 and Barrio 18 gangs operate with near impunity, extorting businesses, recruiting children, and carrying out public executions. San Pedro Sula was once declared the murder capital of the world, and journalists here face assassination for reporting on corruption. Our number 5 entry takes gang violence to an even more terrifying level. Number 5, El Salvador. Despite recent government crackdowns, this tiny nation still battles some of the world's most vicious gang activity with over 6,600 homicides annually. The Salvadoran gangs essentially function as parallel governments, collecting taxes, enforcing laws, and controlling entire communities through fear. Extortion is so common that an estimated 70% of businesses pay protection money to avoid being firebombed or having employees murdered. But the systematic violence in our next country operates on an entirely different scale. Number 4, Somalia. This East African nation has existed without a functioning central government for over 3 decades, creating a perfect storm of terrorism, piracy, and clan warfare. Al-Shabaab militants control vast territories where they impose brutal punishments including public beheadings and amputations. The country averages over 2,000 conflict deaths per year, and Mogadishu suffers regular suicide bombings and armed assaults. International peacekeepers have tried for years to restore order, but our number 3 entry shows what happens when a state completely collapses. Number 3, Syria. Over 500,000 people have died in Syria's civil war since 2011, with millions more displaced in the largest refugee crisis since World War II. Chemical weapons attacks, barrel bombings of civilian areas, and widespread torture have become horrifyingly routine. The Islamic State once controlled 1/3 of the country, and even today multiple armed factions battle across a landscape of destroyed cities. Every single one of Syria's 22 million people has been affected by this conflict, but our number 2 country faces active genocide. Number 2, Afghanistan. The Taliban's return to power in 2021 immediately erased decades of progress, especially for women who are now banned from education and most employment. The country suffers regular terrorist attacks from ISIS-K, including a 2021 airport bombing that killed over 180 people. Millions face starvation as the economy has collapsed, and the opium trade funds endless cycles of violence. Afghanistan has topped the global terrorism index for years, but even this doesn't compare to the cartel-controlled nightmare that takes our number one spot. And finally, number 1, Mexico. Remember those 20,000 homicides I mentioned at the start? Mexico actually sees over 30,000 murders annually, with cartels operating sophisticated criminal empires worth billions. The Sinaloa and Jalisco New Generation cartels don't just traffic drugs, they control entire states, run their own armies, and have firepower that rivals the Mexican military. Mass graves are discovered regularly, some containing hundreds of bodies, and over 100,000 people have simply disappeared. Journalists covering the cartels are assassinated so frequently that Mexico is often deadlier for reporters than active war zones. The violence has become so normalized that cartel battles with military-grade weapons happen in broad daylight while civilians hide in their homes. These 10 countries remind us that in many parts of the world, basic safety is a luxury most people can only dream of. Drop a comment below and tell us which entry shocked you the most, or if you think we missed any countries that deserve to be on this list. Smash that like button and subscribe for a brand new top 10 every single day.